Your boss asks you to cover the weekend. Why? Because someone else bailed. And you smile and say, yes, sir. Of course. There is no real pushback. Just yes. Why the hell do we do this? Why are so many Indians so damn agreeable? Why do we people please and say yes even when it screws us over? I think it starts very early. In India, you are thrown into brutal competition from day one. There is massive pressure to score high, get high marks, get into top colleges, land a high-paying job. Because failure feels like a death sentence. And there are just no real safety nets in India, right? From school, we are primed to bend over. Obey authority, never question, give respect even when it's not warranted. Teachers are gods, elders also gods. You didn't talk back, you shut up, you obeyed, and somehow you survived, right? Even in college, the same pattern continues. A freaking second year student is treated as superior. I mean, unbelievable. You're expected to call them sir or ma'am, I don't know what to make of that. It's crazy, right? Ragging is still alive and well. It is normalized and it's kind of, wrapped in the name of tradition. Seniors are humiliating juniors. They make them do degrading tasks. They force them to massage their egos and say, we will help you pass. We will give you notes. Without us, you will fail. What complete bullshit, really. In 2026, you can get notes from ChatGPT, much better notes, much faster. This is nothing but pure psychological warfare. Seniors, these are the same seniors who felt powerless themselves. Now they feel superior by crushing the new batch. And juniors oblige. Because if nobody obliged, this whole shit would end. It will die. But we keep feeding it. This is the same hierarchical sickness that runs through the entire society, through the entire Indian society. Go to any government office. The peon who's carrying these files, the clerk at the counter, even the guy at the airport security checkpoint, they all act like they are doing you a favor. For what? For performing the job they are already getting paid for. They expect sir, they expect to be called ma'am. They expect that extra politeness. Often, many of them expect money also. You need a driver's license? Really? You need car ownership transfer? Are you sure? Any basic paperwork, even if everything is correct, you know what happens, right? You still end up bribing someone or paying a middleman. Actually, last year when my dad passed away, I remember just to transfer the car from my dad's name to my mom's name, what we had to go through. Actually, my brother, he was in India for some extended period, and he had to do all that. So this is unbelievable, and this is everyday life. Why does this happen? I think partly there is colonial hangover, because generations lived under British rule and they were treated as second-class citizens in their own country. That certainly left scars and a subconscious belief that authority is somehow superior. But I think the bigger driver is the country itself. I think we have too many people. Sorry, that's the reality. We have too many people, too few resources. Too many applicants for too few seats and jobs. So desperation obviously sets in, and desperation kills self-respect. So we bend. We call people sir and ma'am when they don't deserve it. We smile and say yes because saying no feels dangerous, Somebody else may take your job. There are too many people. In a survival mode society, upsetting anyone with even a little power can cost you. Now compare that to the West. A high schooler doesn't give a shit about a college student. Professors, they go by their first names, Andy, Randy, Sam, Dan, whatever. Respect is earned, not handed out because someone is older or higher in some artificial hierarchy. That's not the case. People focus on doing their work. They challenge ideas. They can tell a boss or a senior, I don't agree. I don't agree with this, or I don't agree with you. And they can still keep their job. I'm not sure if that will be the case in India. Don't try it. Innovation happens because people aren't busy stroking egos. In India, challenging your boss is rare. And as I said, don't try it in your office. We were trained to please, not to question. That's why many Indians abroad still act like excusers. Sorry, they are excusers. Now, the few who drop the mindset and stay competent do pretty well. The rest are often perceived, how they are perceived. They are perceived as weak or overly submissive because we give unearned respect and seek approval from everyone. It's pitiful. Now, this agreeable style has real costs. People will walk all over you. You will get exploited. You will be overworking. And you will be underpaid. You will burn out. Toxic work cultures flourish when sucking up matters more than delivering. Small power holders act like lords. Now in India, corruption starts at the bottom and goes all the way up. It is affecting daily life. In a way, it simply doesn't. In many or most other countries, there is corruption, other countries as well, but it's at high level. It doesn't affect your day-to-day life. But not everything about this training that we get in India, growing up in India, is useless. The people who succeed are those who selectively keep the good parts, right? There are a lot of good parts there. They don't say yes. They just don't say yes to everything. But they outwork everyone. That is the work ethic that you develop growing up in India. They take on tough tasks, others may refuse. These people are resourceful as hell. Because in India, growing up in India, you remember everything is about negotiation, right? From traffic, navigating through traffic, to crowded subways, to standing in a line, office lines or whatever. That builds sharp instincts. And most Indians have that. They are able to stretch limited resources and still deliver. And that's what companies want. That's what big companies want from their leaders. That's exactly why so many Indian origin leaders crush it in Silicon Valley. And I would say US tech industry in general. They are able to combine adaptability and relationship skills, which are natural to most Indians. They're able to combine it with raw determination and smart execution. Now, I think it is important to say that we don't need to become rude and we don't need to lose our strengths. We can keep the empathy. We can keep the hustle. We can keep that resilience. The competitive work ethic, keep it. But add some spine, very important. Learn to say no when it matters. Speak with confidence when you know when you know your stuff. Have you seen Americans? They're confident even when they don't know shit. Stop treating every authority figure like a god. Demand respect based on character and competence, not some position or age. The environment shaped us, right? As we were growing up in India, of course. Environment is important. When you're growing up, it shapes you. Now we can see it clearly, what are the pros and what are the cons about that environment. We can keep what's useful and drop the parts that keep us weak. Can be selective. If you're Indian and this hits a nerve, good. Think about your own childhood and the systems you still feed. What small changes can you make so your agreeableness becomes a weapon instead of being a cage? Thanks for watching. If you feel this woke you up, share it. Understanding the game is the first step to winning it. Remember it.